I'm doing something a little different today. One of my other non-baseball card related hobbies is disc golf. So I recently ordered, actually during Black Friday, Latitude 64 was running I guess a special you could call it, something they called their most mysterious box of discs. This is supposed to span the trilogy, which would be Dynamic Discs, uh, Latitude 64, and West Side discs. And since those are, well, in particular, Latitude 64 and West Side discs are some of the discs that I throw the most myself. I saw the deal, and it was basically $50 for the box. And the box was supposed to contain 6 discs, so that seemed like a pretty good deal. I always like to try new discs, and there was a bunch, from the trilogy of companies there that I don't own and I haven't thrown. So I figured there was a decent chance I'd get, something useful, something that I would like. So I thought it would be fun to do an unboxing. Now, I will be honest, I've already opened this box, as you can see, and gone through it. And that's actually what made me think I should do an unboxing video. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I actually ordered 2 of these. I may make a second video for the other one. Not really sure. We'll see how this one goes. So this is exactly how the box arrived. The only thing I've done is I'm actually have gone through and made some quick notes for some of the discs so that I don't have to waste time trying to look stuff up. So the first disc in the box, and we'll just take them right off the top. Again, this is the exact order they were put in the box. Came in plastic. This is the only disc that will be in plastic in this box. And that's because it's a soft plastic putter. In particular, I'll try to show the stamp there a little bit. This is a Dynamic Discs Warden putter. It's a straight flying disc with a little bit of fade to the left at the end of the flight. Flight numbers on this one are 2, 4, 0, and 0.5. So basically a straight flying putter. I have never thrown a Warden. It's certainly a disc that I know of. But yeah, so I'm going to give this one a go. This is in a soft plastic. I'm sure it has a proper name that I don't know. I don't have much from Dynamic Discs. It's the one of the 3 companies in the trilogy that I really don't own much of. So it'll be fun, something to look forward to. Can't say that I understand what's going on with the stamp. I guess that should be the top. There's a Dynamic Disc logo. To a certain extent, I do judge my disc at least a little bit by this stamp. Not my favorite stamp. I do like the sparkle of it, but yeah, red color, decent, easy enough to find unless you're playing in the fall, at least where I am, where there's lots of leaves on the ground. So there's our first disc, a Dynamic Discs Warden. All right, next out of our box, we have another Dynamic Disc. This one, and like the last one, doesn't actually say what the disc is anywhere on the front, but on the back, there's no way my camera will probably pick this. Oh, maybe it does with the light just right. You can read that it does actually say what it is. So this is the Verdict, if you could read that. The Verdict is an overstable mid-range. Should go pretty good fade to the left at the end of the flight. The flight ratings on this thing are 5, 4, 0, and then 3.5. I've never thrown the Verdict either, but in looking at the Verdict and sort of what it is, to me, this looks like kind of a version of the Pioneer. The Pioneer is a disc that I do throw. Not a lot, but it's a disc I use for roller shots, forehand rollers in particular. This seems like maybe would be the same sort of slot in my bag. I can't imagine that I would use this much, at least right now with my skill set. So yeah, I'm not sure about this one, but I'll probably give it a go at some point. Next up, we have another Dynamic Disc. This is a orange Dynamic Disc Trespass. Maybe I'll make that out right down there. Maybe not in the light. Just right. There you go. So this is a Trespass. This is, if you can probably tell by the rim of it, this is a distance driver. It is overstable with a speed 12, glide of 5, and then negative 0.5 and 3. It's only a speed 12, so I am basically, I've played disc golf for about a year now, just over. So definitely still in the beginner stages of things, which will be apparent as I discuss some of these discs. But yeah, I think this is one that I could certainly give a go. I don't know whether it would work for me or not. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna give this one a try. I like the orange color. Yeah, that's a good one. I was happy with that one. All right, next up, we continue our tour of dynamic discs with this green transparent disc, which is actually a dynamic disc Escape. Now, the Escape is a fairway driver. So if you're following along, we had a putter, a mid-range, a distance driver, and now a fairway driver. So I do like that the box had kind of one of each classification of discs. I did not like that the two stamps were exactly the same for two different discs because, like I said, I judge my disc to a certain extent by the stamp. It helps me know what I'm grabbing in a hurry, especially because I don't have a proper set bag yet. I'm always fiddling and trying different discs and seeing what works for me. So anyways, I didn't like that about it, but I do like pretty much everything else about this disc, though maybe green is not the best color for a disc golf disc, at least where I live, where it can easily get lost in the grass. But anyways, the Escape is a staple fairway driver. Flight ratings on this thing should be 9, 5, negative 1, 2. For a beginner, this is probably going to fade left a fair bit, and if you were an expert, this would probably stay quite a bit straighter, I would say. Not a disc that I've ever thrown, like all the other ones so far, but I think this one looks like, at least by the flight ratings, one that could slot into my bag and might actually be quite useful for me. So I'm going to give this one a go for sure. Next, we only have 2 discs left. We finally get a Latitude 64 disc. I was a little bit bummed that the first 4 discs out of the box were all dynamic discs. Not because I didn't want dynamic discs, but I was kind of bought this with the hopes of getting more West Side and Latitude 64 discs. The right side, they were all ones I hadn't thrown because this is actually a pink, very pink, Explorer. And the Explorer is one of the discs that I actually currently bag on the course right now. The Explorer has flight ratings of 7.502. It's a fairway driver. It is overstable. When I first started playing disc golf, one of the first discs I bought was an Explorer, and I tried to throw it, and it was awful. It was absolutely trash for me. I couldn't do anything with the disc. I swore it was complete trash, awful, worst thing ever. I threw it in my car. I removed it from my bag entirely. I didn't throw it for probably 6 months after I started. And then one day I decided just to throw discs, kind of all my discs, doing a little bit of field work. And I threw the Explorer because, it was a disc I owned, and I didn't hate it. And then I started throwing it some more, and then I started throwing it more. And finally I started throwing it on the course, and now I use it all the time. So while it is a disc that I have, it's a disc that I actually use. So getting another one, certainly no problem. Bright pink, easy to find, again, other than in the fall. Stamp's kind of boring. Just, I don't know. I don't even know what they're going for there. A bunch of diamonds. I don't get it. There's probably something to it that I should know, but I don't. So anyways, that was that. And then we have 1 disc left, and this one I'm super excited to at least try. This is the Royal Rive. Actually, it's the Rive, but in the Royal plastic, I guess. This one is labeled factory second. Don't really know why they determined that it's a factory second. There's like some weird coloring on the edge maybe, but I don't know. But anyways, definitely like a different feel to this one than the others. Don't know a whole much about the Royal plastic line other than it's much more expensive than other lines. This is a distance driver. It is also overstable, like most of the discs in this box. Flight ratings on this thing are 13, 5, 0, and 3.5. Uh, I don't have an ARM for 13. You can see the flight rating. This is the only one that had the flight ratings printed on it. I don't have the ARM for the Rive. I know that. I am not a 13 ARM at this point. However, I'm definitely going to take this out in the field and give it a go just because I'm very excited to throw this one. So arguably, this is the one I'm the most excited about, even though also arguably probably the disc that is least useful to me or least made for someone of my skill set, at least at this point in time. But yeah, so we ended up with 2 Latitude 64 discs, the Rive, which, like I said, excited for, and the Explorer, which I actually use, so that one certainly solid. And then we had 4 dynamic discs, including the putter in the soft plastic that was plastic wrap. So that's the sort of color palette that they sent. I do like that there was a variety of colors. I like that there was a variety of um, sort of disc types, putters and drivers, fairway and distance drivers, as well as a mid-range. Um, I like that there was a mix of brands, though I feel like maybe there should have been at least one West Side disc in there. Kind of was expecting something else. That was all the box had. No sticker, no, I don't know, no anything else, which was a little bit off. But overall, I think I'm happy with it. Where I live, it's now winter, so throwing discs isn't something that I get to do a whole heck of a lot right now. But when the weather finally warms back up, I'll definitely try to get back out there and give these a shot. And who knows, maybe I'll do a follow-up video someday. I do have a second box that I got. Actually ordered 2 sets of these just to give it a go. I usually have bad luck with things like this, so I thought, well, maybe if I get 2, one of them will be good. So maybe I'll do a video for the other one as well sometime. But yeah, thanks for watching, and let me know what you think of the discs, or maybe if you have any advice for a beginner in terms of which of those discs I ought to use, or perhaps equally valuable, which of those discs I ought to avoid, at least for now. I'll take it. So with that, I will say thank you and have a good night.